also have some deputies here that will be testing this technology. But you know, obviously the reason for us doing this today, we want to let our citizens, want to let others that may be visiting, coming into our county here in Oconee, know about some new life-saving technology when it comes to a high-speed pursuit warning system. Now, you may be asking, what is a high-speed pursuit warning system? I've never heard of that before. And you would be exactly correct, because until today, this technology has never been used by any law enforcement agency in the world. So we're certainly appreciative to Pursuit Alert, who you'll be hearing more from in just a few minutes. But to kind of give you a best analogy, I was thinking about this morning. You know, here in Oconee County, of course, we have a nuclear power plant in Duke Power, and for many, many years now, we've had a warning system so that if anyone within a 10-mile radius of Duke Power, if there's something happens at the plant, then those sirens go off. And here in our county, we test them, or they test them several times a year. And anyone that's in that 10-mile radius, once we hear that siren in a real event, then we know something's going on at Duke Power. You know, we need to pay attention, need to find out what's going on. And that's exactly what we've got when it comes to police pursuits, in that, you know, with this technology now, citizens will have an app on their phone, and they'll get an alert, knowing instead of that 10-mile radius with Duke Power, there's a high-speed pursuit within a 2-mile radius around them. The Pursuit Alert, you know, as I said, they're going to share some more with you, certainly on statistics, on injuries, on deaths. You know, here in Oconee County, this past year, 2018, we conducted about 2,500 traffic stops. We had approximately 23 to 24 of those vehicle stops that ended up in a pursuit. Previous years, you know, we've averaged 13, 14. So, you know, we average in Oconee County 1 to 2 pursuits per month. You say, well, that's not a lot when you compare it to the number of traffic stops, and it's not. It's actually less than 0.5% of all the traffic stops we do. But when one of those occur, 100% of the people that's within a 2-mile radius of that high-speed pursuit is potentially endangering their life. So that's why it's important for us. You know, I know in the past we've always tried to as best we can to get ahead, you know, trying to clear intersections. You know, that's so today, this is why I believe, you know, every citizen in our county, it's important that every citizen have this free app. If parents outside of Oconee County have students attending Foster Clemson University, maybe living in Oconee County, it's important that they download this app, because it truly can, I'm convinced, can be a life-saving measure. We started this process about 2 years ago. I was contacted by Pursuit Alert, and once I heard the development, what was going to be taking place, it was a no-brainer. You know, so I thought, you know, we've got a way now that when a deputy gets in a pursuit, someone refuses to stop, we can activate a button, and we can let everyone know within a 2-mile radius of that pursuit, you know, there's danger around you. Be aware at the next intersection you're coming up on. You know, so it and it moves as the pursuit moves. You know, not only is it notifying those that enter that 2-mile radius, it's also notifying you once you get outside that 2-mile radius simultaneously. And they will share more about that with you. Another advantage for us, you know, it's not only beneficial to our citizens, something that we're excited about as well, it's beneficial to our officers. It'll allow us to increase officer safety. You know, when it comes to training, we'll be able to go back and look at the speeds during one of our pursuits. But it also has some technology. Many times in a law enforcement chase, you know, we're in pursuit of a drug dealer, and those drugs start coming out the window. They start throwing them out the window, and our deputies go back. You know, we think we know about where it came out, and we'll spend sometimes hours walking up down the road looking for that evidence. Well, Pursuit Alert has installed some technology called a drop pin, that once something comes out that window, we can activate that button, and then we'll have GPS coordinates to go back to find exactly where that evidence was. You know, this technology, I'm convinced, and I truly believe, will reduce accidents. It's going to increase officer safety. I think it's going to increase citizen safety. I think it has potential to decrease insurance costs as we go forward. And then, of course, the opportunity for us to build better cases, have stronger evidence when we go to court, that we're able to make these cases solid. I saw someone come in like Sheriff Randy Shirley and his chief deputy from Stevens County, Georgia, our neighboring county, who we consider him a part of Oconee most times. We work very closely together. We're glad to have Sheriff Shirley here this morning as well to learn about this technology. So, you know, that's in a nutshell. Obviously, you know, we've got the technology. The intent today and going forward will be getting citizens to download it on their cell phone. It's totally free. You know, the cost has been incurred by us here at the Sheriff's Office, and so, you know, we're going to continue to promote that. But I want to give you an opportunity to learn more about the nuts and bolts of how this works. Tim Morgan with Pursuit Alert is going to come and talk with you. Other folks with his company is going to share some videos with you, and then I'll come back at the end, kind of wrap it up, and we'll do a demo, and then we'll be available certainly for some questions. But at this time, I'll turn it over to Tim.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank Sheriff Crenshaw and his staff for all of the assistance they gave us in the development and testing of this technology. It's been a long road, but the officers would test, they would make recommendations, we'd go back and modify the hardware and the system and come back, and we repeated that 2 or 3 times in this process to bring it to what we have today. So the sheriff and his office have been instrumental, and early on the sheriff saw this was a technology he wanted, that he could provide a layer of protection for the people of Oconee County and those others that were passing through. I think we all would agree that there's no such thing as a good high-speed chase, just like there's no good war. But we're going to continue to have both of those as long as there's people out there with the intent of doing us harm. You know, a high-speed chase is the one single event where the public is endangered the most just by law enforcement doing their job. The Department of Justice says there's about 68,000 police chases annually in this country, and from that it results in, on average, 1 death a day. I guess a terrible, tragic example was last week in Spartanburg, where the gentleman was driving through an intersection, and the fleeing vehicle blew the intersection and hit and killed him. That's 5 deaths in the 4 upstate counties in about the last 2 years. And those are the ones that we hear about. 3 times as many people are injured than are killed, and just untold caregivers and family members are affected for the rest of their life. Not to mention the hundreds of millions of dollars annually that it costs our economy in insurance payouts and attorney fees and hospitalization, disability payments, and such. So law enforcement tries to mitigate that risk, but how do they do that? Well, Sheriff Crenshaw is doing it by, number 1, he's got outstanding people. Number 2 is good training, sound policy, and now there's a technology that can add another layer of protection to the people. You know, warning systems are in place for tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, and lightning, but more people are killed in police chases every year than all 4 of those events combined. So it only makes sense to have a warning system for high-speed chases, and now we do. In my days in law enforcement, when there's a high-speed chase, while I was monitoring what was going on, the first thing I would think about is, where's my family? And if I didn't know where they were and I thought they might be in an area of danger, I would call them and say, hey, we got a chase, where are you? Stay there, I'll call you back. Now everybody can have access to that inside information that could save their life. So Sheriff Crenshaw has done his part. Now it's time for us to do our part and download the app. And I challenge the people of Oconee County, somebody in every household, take it upon yourself. It's your responsibility to make sure everybody on your account and everybody in your household downloads the app and And take it a little step further. Anybody that you care about and love, call them and make sure that they download the app. Your life just may depend on it. And we saw last week what a good team effort could do on a football field, and I'm just as excited about the team effort that we have had to make this come about, and I want to recognize some of those. There's some that couldn't be here today. Our Chief Technology Officer, Dr. Hobie Tam, he's in the Netherlands right now. Our team from Detroit couldn't make it down. They have other things going on, but I do want to recognize those that are here. Trish is a co-founder, and she carries a big whip. She makes sure things get done. Ralph Herrera with Zip It Wireless. And we engaged a couple of other companies to try to make this technology come about, but the truth is they didn't have the expertise to make it happen, but Zip It did. Zip It Wireless, they peeled the onion back and was able to put it back together to make the magic happen that you'll see today. So Ralph, I appreciate what you and Zip It have done. Frank Condon with the Vogel Technologies out of Greer, and Sam. They're the ones that's handling all the agency onboarding. It's not as simple as just installing something in a car. They have to connect to our software and go through that process, and they'll be handling the help desk and for any service-related type of problems. So I'm going to turn it over to Sam just for a second. He can show you a demo of, it's a 10,000-foot overview of what happens in a high-speed chase with this technology. Sam.
You can see on the screen, this is a simulation of a pursuit here in Oconee County. And you'll notice that there's a lot of black pins on the map. Those are users with the mobile app installed. And you see that blue radius around the moving drop pin. That is the pursuit vehicle. That's the police officer. And so you'll notice that a lot of pins are flashing different colors. That's the notifications going off on a civilian's mobile app as they're entering or exiting that 2-mile radius around that vehicle. And so you'll notice that the vehicle's being pursued. It's traveling all over Oconee County, and while that's happening, folks are being notified on their mobile devices. Notice in the wake of the pursuit, there's a lot of blue pins. That's a count of how many civilians were notified during this pursuit. And then at the end, the officer would turn off their pursuit box, and civilians would be notified that they are no longer in that pursuit area. Sheriff Crenshaw.
We'll have a simulation here just shortly, as soon as our deputies make it back down to their vehicle. But it's just as important. I think that we let our citizens know, about the technology. It's free. We have a link on our website at Oconee Law that you can go to. There's some easily scanned QR codes that Pursuit Alert has made available for us. You can download it, but you can certainly go to the iOS store or the Android store and download the app from there. But we talk a lot in Oconee County about with our citizens about having a personal safety plan everywhere you go. When you go in somewhere, you should know where the exits are. Think about, what if something does happen. Have a plan to know what you're going to do. And the same is no different here. You download the app and you're on your way home today and it goes off. What do I do? And so, it's important for citizens to start thinking about a plan for that as well. And it's going to be situational. There's no one answer that we can give that's going to solve every scenario that you may be in. But obviously, the sheriff's office, if the app goes off and you're on a highway, lots of churches, lots of convenience stores in Oconee County, if you have the opportunity to pull over into a parking lot, certainly we want you to do that. You may not have that opportunity, but if you can pull over to the side of the road, we want you to do that, because you don't know, it could be coming towards you, it could be coming behind you.
Warning, high-speed pursuit in progress. Use extreme caution.
So this is what a citizen will hear over their cell phone. It's not something, a text that you have to look at, that you have to read. It is an audible alert that will go off. But so getting back to what we were talking, if you can pull over, pull over. But it may be that you can't pull over. If you can't pull over, decrease your speed, slow down. You've got better control of that vehicle. If you're coming up on an intersection, regardless if you've got the green light or not, we're advising you to come to a complete stop. You slow down if at all possible and look to make sure that pursuit's not coming through that intersection and fixing to T-bone you, even though you may have the right-of-way. So that's what we're talking about, the knowledge, the information that we're convinced and we truly believe is going to save lives as we move forward in situations like this. But you may be in a situation to where there's traffic in front of you, traffic behind you, you're the only one that's got the app. But still, you decrease your speed so that you've got better control over your actions. And, like I say, if it's at all possible to pull over to the side of the road and wait until you get that alert that you're outside that danger zone.
High-speed pursuit out of range. Use caution. Warning. High-speed pursuit in progress. Use extreme caution.
Yeah. So, give you an example of what you would hear. You say, well, how long, we'll have to sit there 10, 15 minutes. Not at all.
High-speed pursuit out of range. Use caution.
In a 2-mile radius, citizens are going to have, depending on the speed of the pursuit, an average of a minute to make a decision before you encounter that pursuit. So it's not going to be a long period of time that you're going to have to delay you or be pulled over. Let that pursuit get on through, get out of your danger zone, and then you proceed on cautiously. At this time, I'll certainly be glad to answer any questions. I'm sure Mr. Morgan will be available to answer any questions, and then afterward, we have 2 of our units out in front of the building. If any of you would like to see a live demo of the actual device installed inside the patrol vehicle, we have the QR codes and a copy of a press release up here as well. You're welcome to get. Mr. Mangum?
The app is free to the public, but you have to budget for it. How much will it cost the sheriff's office?
Mr. Morgan, you want to address the cost as far as going forward?
So the cost is less than 10 cents per person per year for the population. It works out, I think in Oconee it works out about 6 cents. So it's really very inexpensive technology for what it provides.
Dick, we were actually able to purchase this within our current budget without any additional funding being requested. Anyone else? Any other questions, comments? Caitlin?
I just say that you have to activate the pursuit box. It's not an automatic thing. It's something that officers physically have to live on.
That's correct. They turn their blue lights on. That driver refuses to stop. They're going to activate their siren, and it's an additional 1 button to press.
Where is that integrated within the system, and is there additional training that everyone on the road is going to have to do for this?
There is some additional training that we've incorporated into to our pursuit policy manual and training that officers are going through this week. We started it this week.
How long does the alert last? Like, there are intervals within the 2-mile radius? So does it go off?
It's about every half mile, about every 30 seconds. If you're still in that threat area and you're moving, you'll get the updated alert. Until you get the all clear, or it's no longer a factor.
This is not your direct responsibility, but do you think DOT and the hospital should implement something like this to alert motorists when ambulances are passing through Miracle Circle or coming out of the hospital?
It would certainly be a benefit. I know with obviously ambulances, fire trucks, they run code, run blue lights or red lights and sirens on every call. But it certainly would be a benefit. I think we're incorporating into our policies, just what we're going to be doing on emergent response and police pursuits. We can control what we do, but we can't control what that individual does when they refuse to stop. But it's my understanding that technology is available not only in law enforcement, but others as
That's
well.
right. But one thing we haven't addressed is that the Code 3 response as well, it gives a different alert tone, a different message for when the sheriff's office is in the Code 3 response that's not a pursuit, and that's available to fire and EMS as well.
Like I say, going forward, we just got to continue to promote and make sure that every citizen in Oconee County is aware of this, that's able to download it, and you know, that's how effective it's going to be. Is how many citizens we can get, and that we can alert when we're in something like this.
So when you download it onto your phone, just having it on your phone, will that automatically send the alert, or does it have to be opened? The app have to be opened with your phone?
No, just downloading it on your phone, and you're done. It took maybe less than a minute for me to download it. You know, as you're downloading it, you'll go through. You want to get push notifications. You know, you want to get those alerts, and you're done. You know, you may go a whole year, and it never go off. But you know, based on the average in Oconee County, 1 to 2 times a month, depending on where you're at in the county, it could go off monthly as well. It just depends on where you're at. Any others? Well, we thank you for coming. Certainly, we'll be available afterward if you have any follow-up questions. But and as you go out, if you would like to stop at the vehicles in front of the Law Enforcement Center, you can actually see the equipment inside the patrol car, and they'll be glad to show you how it works. All right.
Food if anybody wants.
Oh yes, Pursuit Alert was gracious enough to furnish some refreshments this morning. So certainly help yourself before you leave today. But thank everyone for coming.